Hey NASCAR fans, thank you for tuning in. So, it's been a while since I've been on here. I've been working and I started work about a month and a half ago, so things have been kind of hectic. But I just wanted to jump on here and give you guys a little update on where I think Kyle Busch is going to end up going in 2023, and in my opinion, where he's going to spend the last 8 years of his career. Kyle Busch has put a timetable, if you will, on when he's going to be done with NASCAR, and it's going to be in 8 years if he times it out perfectly. He wants to share a truck with Brexton when he's 16. Brexton can have it when he's 18. He's done. So, again, I'll talk more about that in a minute. But what I want to talk about is NASCAR returning to North Wilkesboro, thanks to Dale Jr. and Marcus Smith, and I'm really still bitter that they took the racing out of Kentucky Speedway. Now they're back loaded again with Ford F-150s waiting to be shipped from Louisville. So I'm a little bitter still not having a race at Kentucky Speedway, and the same owner that owns North Wilkesboro, Atlanta, Charlotte, Watkins Glen, Sonoma, Texas, a couple other tracks. Everything's racing, on their through the Smith family, through NASCAR, except for Kentucky, which is a shame. But anyway, so looks like there's going to be there's going to be an announcement. Marcus Smith, Dale Jr., a couple other people there they brought North Wilkesboro back to life. Bruton and Marcus Smith bought the track, the lost, forgotten track, and Bruton Smith passed away not too long ago, so rest in peace, Bruton Smith. So Marcus Smith is running things, and basically Dale Jr. brought this to the Smith family. They bought the track, and they was going to start with dirt racing, I believe, next year. And now they decided to cancel all dirt races. They're going to repave it to host the 2023 All-Star race. So removing it from Texas, that's been there the last couple of years. It was at Bristol, then Texas. So again, I'm glad that it's, I don't think North Wilkesboro, I don't think short tracks should be for All-Star races. I think a mile and a half are perfect. That's what they were, founded on at freaking Charlotte, Lowe's. And I just don't think short tracks are in my opinion, are good for all-star races. But hey, it is what it is. So NASCAR is going to return there in 2023. Apparently, I haven't seen a big announcement yet. I've seen Dale Jr. all dressed up in his brown suit this morning, so it should be any time now, the big announcement. And again, to host the 2023 All-Star race. Now here's the thing. They're looking to pull a race out of Texas. Even IndyCar is thinking about leaving next year. They're repaving. The track's horrible. Just like with Atlanta, they repaved. It's like a super speedway now. I don't really understand the whole super speedway vibe, or, not vibe, but I don't understand the super speedway agenda as far as, you got Daytona, you got Talladega, and yet you want to throw in mile and a half now a super speedway. It all started with the mile and a half road courses with the Charlotte, the Roval. It all started with that, and now we went from mile and a half road courses to mile and a half super speedways. So I don't know if it's the right direction, but it is what it is. But anyway, I'm waiting for this big announcement. So NASCAR looking to return. Now that they talked about NASCAR not being there for about 4 or 5 years down the line, just kind of get racing back at the place. And Dale Jr. just drove a late model race in the number 3 Sundrop, the old school. So, but yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on with that, and wait for the official word. The other thing I want to talk about is, of course, the playoffs, and I got to talk about the playoff spoiler. Eric Jones winning the Southern 500 last Sunday, shocked everybody, playoff spoiler, got his 3rd Cup win overall, his 2nd Southern 500, his 1st win in the 43, the 200th win for the 43 car, and it's just really, really cool knowing that he's in that 43 for the next 2 years, and now on top of that, his teammate's going to be Noah Gragson. So to bring in Noah in their 42, that's, in my opinion, that's a great move. And I really feel that Petty GMS is on the right track to success. I mean, this right here, the multi-year extension with Eric Jones goes to Victory Lane, and I think the win's just going to start coming for the 43. And it's pretty cool because now we're seeing the 24 start to kind of, become unleashed. We're seeing a 3 car get the victory at Daytona. Kind of had some good number 3 Chevrolets this year. So we're kind of seeing the 24 be unleashed. We're seeing the 3 kind of start to be pushed out there, and now we're seeing the 43 in victory lane. So 24, the 3, and including the 48, and the 24, 3, 43. All the iconic numbers basically went to victory lane this year. So again, Eric Jones, I got to give my congratulations to Jones. And I told people he was going to win. I told people Eric Jones is going to win in that 43. And, also, too, got some first-time winners this year. Not just, Eric Jones, but Eric Jones is the first-time winner, but the first-time winner in the 43. But we got Daniel Suarez, who won Sonoma. You got Ross Chastain, who won, was it Coda and Talladega. I mean, this is really, cool that, the Gen 7s are pretty, in my opinion. I love the Gen 7s, even though there's kind of a safety issue, Kurt Busch got concussed. Not sure what his future is going to be. He's contracting the 45 through next year. Is he going to return? Ty Gibbs has been driving the 45. But here's the thing that really ticks me off. Is NASCAR has handed the playoff spot, Kurt's playoff spot, that he waived. He waived to not compete for the championship this year. He waived that, but yet NASCAR gave Bubba the spot. I can't believe NASCAR's handing drivers playoff spots. I mean, even if he does win the Owners' Championship, it's going to be like, wait a minute, he didn't earn. And as far as I'm concerned, unless they change the rules, you don't have to be in the playoffs to win the Owners' Championship. Do you? I mean, last time I checked, it was all about the points of how the manufacturers, ran. There's a manufacturers' championship. There's, of course, the Drivers' Championship, and there's the Owners' Championship. But I don't know if you have to be in the playoffs to win the Owners' Championship. Then again, back in the day, if your car failed post-race inspection, you wasn't getting on the track. Now they just start you at the rear of the field. So times have changed. So I'm kind of understanding. I'm still going by the old school rules with a little bit of understanding the new stuff. But yet I'm kind of stuck on the NASCAR President Steve Phelps and Steve O'Donnell and all that. And Scott, they always, throw me for a loop. Because I'm like, wait, what? So anyway. So, yeah, Bubba Wallace is running for the championship. Didn't even earn it, but he's in there. Last thing I want to talk about is, of course, Kyle Busch, the talk of 2022. Where is he going to end up? First it was Stewart-Haas Racing. He's going to be in the 41 car. Then we find out that Cole Custer is going to be in that 41 car for the foreseeable future. And he is the face of the 41. That's his organization to grow. Now, don't forget, Cole Custer went to victory lane this year. Was it at California? I got it wrote down. I can't think of who it was. I think Tyler Riddick went to victory lane at Texas with Big Machine Racing. Anyways, I'll figure it out. But anyway, 2 underfunded teams in Xfinity Series went to victory lane this year. Tyler Riddick with Cole Custer helped them organizations get the win. So that's so they're held up to here in that organization, Cole Custer and Tyler Riddick. But yeah, so back to Stewart-Haas Racing. That was an option for Kyle Busch, as far as the fans was talking about it. Then we found out from Greg Zipadelli that the 41 is going to be Cole's for the foreseeable future. There's no plan to remove Cole. His dad's the head honcho at Stewart-Haas Racing, so I don't see Cole ever leaving the 41. I have no problem with Cole driving the 41. I think it fits him perfect. And I'm a fan of Cole Custer. A lot of people have kind of, pulled away. There's some drivers that you latch onto when they come in. There's some drivers that you just don't latch onto. And Cole Custer's one driver that I've latched onto when he came in. It's like Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski and Chase Elliott and Bowman and all those guys. A lot of names out there. So then the 41 shut down as an option, and the 10 car was an option because Eric Almirola was set to retire. I think Smithfield was going to get out with Eric. I'm not sure they were going to stay put or not, but there was a lot of speculation in the 10 car. Kyle Busch in the 10, and then that got shut down with Eric Almirola and Smithfield signing a 2-year extension to stay in that 10 car through 2024. So, as far as Kyle Busch going to Ford, going to Stewart-Haas Racing, that is off the table. So, no Kyle Busch at Stewart-Haas Racing. But there's an option for Chevrolet, and it looks like he is going to be leaving Toyota. And from what I understand, a lot of people are saying take this with a grain of salt. But from what I understand, Toyota has stopped Kyle Busch from participating in any of the private Toyota tests. He is no longer allowed to attend those tests. So I think I think a deal's already done, and we're getting ready for, this is September, we're about to be in October. We got 2 months left in the sport, 2.5 months left in the sport. In the sport, 2.5 months left in the season, and this whole thing of Kyle Busch, will something be announced? I'd say yeah, before the season's end. So I heard we're getting close to Kaulig Racing finalizing their 2023 plans. Kyle Busch has admitted to take a pay cut. He's admitted to talk to their teams. One was a Ford, one was a Chevy team, and then Ford's off the table. The Chevy team, Dale Jr. talked about on Dirty Mo Media, saying, "Hey, it might be Hendrick. Hendrick could bring him back home." And that, from what I understand, Hendrick has not even contacted Kyle Busch. They're done with Kyle Busch. Their driver lineup, they don't need to split any of those drivers at Hendrick Motorsports. I think the class, the group of drivers that they have, two of them championship drivers out of the four. And I think it's only a matter of time before Bowman and William Byron grab their championships. But you got 2020 Chase Elliott Cup champion, 2021 Kyle Larson, which nobody wanted Larson when he got back in NASCAR except for Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart, talked to Ford. Ford said, absolutely no way. We do not want Kyle Larson. And the thing is, Tony Stewart was an advocate for Kyle Larson. You got to put Larson back in NASCAR. You have to. And as much races as Kyle Larson was driving in the World of Outlaws and all that stuff, he wanted to get back in the sport of NASCAR. And basically, Ford's loss which ultimately ended up being Stewart-Haas Racing's loss, ended up being Hendrick Motorsports and Chevrolet's gain. Multiple wins last year, Cup championship to follow. So again, their loss. So Hendrick not even wanting nothing to do with Kyle Busch. I don't blame him. You had your time with Kyle Busch, let him go on. But here's the thing. The Chevy team was Matt Kaulig Racing. They reached out. And it wasn't for about 3 weeks ago that we're here at RCR now threw their name in the hat in the ring to talk to Kyle Busch. And it was confirmed that Matt Kaulig and Richard Childress both have been in contact with Kyle Busch discussing a deal next year. Now, for Childress, the 8 car, I'm not going to give you the long story of it, but of course about Tyler Reddick leaving RCR 2024. He's contracted through 2023 to stay in the 8 car. There's a lot of speculation that Childress wants him out of the 8 car next year, doesn't want him back at Richard Childress Racing. Don't know what's going on for Kurt Busch, but they could send Tyler Reddick in the 45 a year early. And it's just, we got to wait and see what's going on with Kurt Busch. But as far as Tyler Reddick, I think he'll be there in the 8 car next year. Now, here's the thing. They're looking to, from what I understand, Adam Stern reported that RCR is the landing candidate, the top candidate to land Kyle Busch. But they got to acquire a third charter if they're going to keep Tyler Reddick. Basically to find backing, and even with a pay cut, it's not going to be a huge pay cut. So I don't really see Kyle Busch at Richard Childress Racing, but I do see Kyle Busch at Kaulig Racing in the 16. That team we know is established in Xfinity Series. They're still pretty much young in Cup Series, but they're also a Cup winning team. We know that 16 car can run up front, can lead laps, can win stages. They finished second 3 weeks ago to Kyle Larson at Watkins Glen. It won last year's Indy Road Course race. So the car is a winning car. And I think you put the caliber driver of Kyle Busch, 2-time Cup champion. You maybe replace Justin Haley in the 31 with A.J. Allmendinger. And then you have Kaulig Racing with A.J. Allmendinger in the 31. And then you have Kyle Busch in the 16. Now here's another option. For Kyle Busch to go to RCR. Did the 31 of Kaulig Racing, they could shut that team down. Send the 31 back to Richard Childress Racing. Sell the charter to Childress. Put Kyle Busch in the 31 that we've seen Jeff Burton, Mike Skinner, Robbie Gordon, and Ryan Newman drive. We could see Kyle Busch in a 31 RCR Chevy. That's an option. But people, I'm really fascinated that people think that charters are easy to acquire, that there's out there a long list of them. In order to acquire a charter, it's not just the money. Money's big. I understand money's a factor. But in order for a team or to acquire a charter to be out there for purchase, is a team has to shut a car down. And unless a Rick Ware Racing or something like that wants to sell a charter, I mean, the only option I can see is Kaulig Racing getting rid of Justin Haley and shipping the 31 and the charter back to RCR. And then they run the 31 with Kyle Busch, the 3 with Austin Dillon, the 8 with Riddick next year, and then 2024, get rid of the 8, put it on the shelf, sell it to Dale Jr. for his Cup Series team down the road, and then put Austin Hill in 33. You have the 3, 33, and 31. That'd be a pretty good fit, I got to tell you guys. But a lot of people are saying, well, does Kyle Busch really want to play second fiddle to Austin Dillon? I mean, so in my opinion, he is done with there is an option on the table with Joe Gibbs, but it's only a 1-year deal. We know Ty Gibbs is going to move into that 18, whether it's next year or 2024. He's coming. 5-time winner this year in Xfinity Series, current ARCA Menards champion, got some seat time in the 45, 23-11 racing ever since Kurt Busch about a month and a half ago got concussed. He's been driving the 45. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, Bubba Wallace's playoff spot that he's got handed to him. He has switched the car to the 45. So Bubba Wallace is not driving the 23 the rest of the season. He's driving the 45 car the remainder of the season. Ty Gibbs will move to the 23. If Kurt comes back before season's end, he will drive the 23. Messed up, right? But I'm not really happy about how they're doing this. But anyway, so my final decision is Kyle Busch is going to Kaulig Racing to drive the 16. But the option of shutting down the Kaulig 31 to Richard Childress Racing to bring a 31 and the charter, that seems a little far-fetched. For it seems easier just to put him in the 16 next year and then possibly 2024 ship him over. But then again, I think Childress is really building on Austin Hill this year. 2 wins, Daytona and Atlanta. He's already made a Dale Earnhardt reference to Austin Hill, saying he doesn't get shook. He's impressed him. And I think he's going to run with Austin Hill. So where do you guys see Kyle Busch next year? It's either going to be a third charter, the 31 car with RCR, which is very unlikely, but it could happen. But I'm really seeing the 16 car at Kaulig Racing. They're getting close to finalizing their 2023 plans. I'm hearing they're wanting to start a truck program. Who has a truck team? Kyle Busch. So Kyle Busch will be leaving Camry and Tundra for Silverados and the SS1, whatever it's called, Chevrolet or whatever. So Kyle Busch is coming back to Chevrolet. Toyota has stopped him from competing in any of the tests. So it looks like time's just ticking. Every day, every minute, every week. And basically, and like I said, he did say that he wants to share a truck with Brexton when he's 16 car. 18, he can have these done. He's currently driving the 18 car. He's also thrown out a 3. He's also thrown out an 8. He's also thrown out a, once again, 16. So he's thrown out these numbers that there was also a 41% and a 10% that he threw out there. So all the numbers that was rumored to him go to possibly landing spots, he threw out in percentages and a reference to Brexton that he wants to share a truck when he's 16, which will put Kyle Busch at 8 when Brexton turns 18. He's basically 8 years in the sport. So again, I think it's going to be Kaulig. RCR is an option. It's going to be a Chevrolet. So the deal at Joe Gibbs, 1 year, he does not want to do this again. He wants the security that Brett Keselowski's got at Roush Fenway. Keselowski, RFK Racing. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Peace. And more news as it comes in. I got to go to work in a few hours. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace. And drop a comment. Love to hear from you. And wait for that announcement from North Wilkesboro. And, yeah, so I'll catch you guys later.